Hey, Psychthoughts fans out there. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, well, we're not going to talk about something. We're going to have a little bit of show and tell. Yes, that's right. Today I'm going to introduce y'all to probably an antique in psychology. Something known as a Skinner box, an opera chamber, or a learning apparatus. It sounds awesome. But today we're going to take a look at B.F. Skinner and one of the classic things that he invented, the Skinner box. So won't you come with me today on Psychthoughts? B.F. Skinner is probably one of the biggest names in psychology when we think about behavioralism. Skinner basically took behaviorism to another level in the early part of his life. Now, Skinner was not he was a very unique character. Basically, he wanted to be a writer. He loved science fiction. He was inspired by H.G. Wells, but he wasn't that great of a writer, but he was very much interested in psychology. Skinner basically went on to come up with what he called operant conditioning, which means that we do things based on consequences, good or bad. We're reinforced to do them, where you have no internal mechanism or free will, so to speak. Yeah, he got in trouble for that one. He basically said there's no such thing as free will, that everything is made on consequences and we do them because of positive or negative reinforcement. But the really cool thing about Skinner is Skinner was a huge inventor. He invented stuff all the time. And he worked with animals. He worked mostly with birds or homing pigeons. He worked with rats and different animals. But the cool thing is that he developed and built a box so that he could show how you could condition an animal to do things based off of consequences and rewards. On a side note, he also invented an air crib for a baby so that you could... They sold it in Redbook for a lot of times. A lot of people called it baby under glass because it was like this little glass container and you could put them in there and they'd be really cool. But today we're going to talk about his Skinner's box. And I have one here and we're going to kind of walk through it. And I'm going to kind of explain to you how he thought his ideals worked and what makes it up. So let's take a look at it today. As you can guess, Skinner was always inventing things, and so he invented a Skinner box. And here it is. As you'll notice, this round object here on the top is where you put food for an animal to eat. There is electrical devices. This is a light, and here is a little object that connects to a counter or a computer part where you can put the thing onto schedules. Here's the chamber, as you can see. The chamber is where you put the animal or the creature that you want to condition, so to speak. And if you'll notice, inside the chamber, you have the light over here, and you have a little lever. Now, here's my favorite volunteer, Fluffy, and we put Fluffy into the chamber. Now, what Skinner proposed and what he meant by consequences is if you want to train an animal to hit this lever to get food, they has to receive a reward. If you put an animal inside here, they don't go, oh, look, a lever, I'll push it and see what happens. No, he did this by shaping the behavior of the animal. As it got closer and closer to the lever, you could actually give it food, and pretty much it would go, hey, there's food. The cool thing is it doesn't take animals long to learn that if they push that lever, they get food. When I was in college, we had to condition a rat to push this lever 60 times just to get a reward. Yeah. I don't know if I'd do that, but we probably would. So the rat will quickly learn that if it pushes it down, it can get a reward. They'll put the little feet here, and they'll put their head in the trough and just keep doing this to get food, and it will keep feeding it. With the computer hooked up to it, you can decide, you can start putting it on different intervals. So you can say, well, if it hits the lever 3 times, it gets a reward. If it hits it 4 times, it gets a reward. So you have to keep increasing it, to eventually we got the rat to where it just bang on that thing for pretty much 60 times. Now, the cool thing that Skinner talked about was positive and negative reinforcement. And what that means is that when the rat would hit this little lever, it would get food. That's a positive reinforcer because it's something good. Now, if you'll notice in the cage here that I have, spin it around here, pick it up. You notice on the bottom, there's places that you can hook up electrodes. Oh no. This sounds like the experiment's now gotten evil. Well, it kind of has. You can condition the animal to hit the lever by using negative means, by electrifying the floor. Basically, you would electrify the floor and you'd put the animal in. Once the animal's in, it's like, ouch, 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 and then it would go over and it would accidentally hit this lever. When it hit the lever, it would no longer receive an electrical shock. So basically, the animal would learn, hey, I can hit this lever and I don't feel pain. So you can use a negative reinforcer to get it to do what you want it to do without giving it something positive. In like manner, if you wanted the animal to stop hitting a lever, then every time it hit the lever and thinking it's going to get food, it got shocked, it would quit. As humans, Skinner pointed out that we all do these same things all the time, that we are constantly making our decisions in life based off of consequences and how we do things. If we do something that is good, we usually continue to do it. If we do something that's bad, we quickly go, I ain't going to do that anymore, I'm going to stop. And so that we see how we use that. Now, a lot of times people go, we don't really use behavioralism, but we do. A lot of it's used in therapy, in aversion therapy. Say that you want to stop smoking. So they will tell people to put in cigarettes that you hate. And so you randomly pull one out and you're like, oh, I don't like this, and you won't smoke as much because it's a bad situation made worse. And so thanks to Skinner, we now can teach different animals to do different things. This is used widely when we train animals to do stunts. If you go to SeaWorld, different places that have animals that do tricks and different things, if you'll ever notice, as soon as they do their trick, they go over to the trainer or the ringmaster and they get a reward. That's right. And as humans, we are also conditioned. You can condition people to do different things by giving them certain rewards without them even knowing it. And they become conditioned to become your slaves, so to speak. Don't use this for evil. So that's kind of really what Skinner was famous for. And most psych students nowadays in college have never really seen one in person or anything else. And so this has been Psychthoughts with an interesting look at B.F. Skinner and his chamber, his apparatus. Until next time, I hope that you all enjoy these videos. If you do, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you got a comment, please leave it down below. If you got a mean comment, please leave it down below, because I probably won't read either one of them. Maybe I will. I don't know. Who knows? But other than that, remember, psychology is pretty much everywhere. Until next time, bye.